NBC Sports, home of Super Bowl 49, welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Before I give my judgment, I'd like to start by thanking both counsel for their conduct during this long trial. The accused, Jeremy Baruch, and Michael Korstein stand charged with the following offenses. Number 1, conspiracy to complete trades in the absence of league awareness in relation to the 2014 draft day trade of Eddie Lacy and Ben Tate for Drew Brees and Ray Rice. Number 2, breach of trust for the game day pickup of Alfred Blue while knowing that Stu Stone, owner of Arian Foster, was still sleeping. Number 3, unlawful correcting of a lineup for the insertion of Alfred Blue into a running back slot approximately 7 minutes after kickoff, leading to a narrow victory over Team Big Load. And number 4, willfully omitting Eric Sklar from league-wide emails throughout the 2014 season. The court heard some compelling evidence of victim impact during this trial. Number 1, Mr. Rosenthal spoke of stress and a weaker than normal appetite following the Alfred Blue related loss to JB's mole. He spoke candidly that he is now only able to eat 1 turkey bacon sub per sitting at Bellybuster. Number 2, Mr. Stone described having serious trust issues after what he described was a Benedict Arnold Orndorff Hogan move by his former friend, Mr. Korstein. And finally, number 3, Mr. Sklar described paranoid delusions, even worse than normal, constantly wondering if he was still in the league throughout the 2014 season. This has greatly affected his ability to enjoy life with his 4 sons, Kobe, Jordan, LeBron, and Shaquille. Considering all of the evidence heard during this trial, one thing is clear. Mr. Baruch and Mr. Korstein are guilty. Guilty of running a fantasy football league that is highly competitive, fun, and fair. With respect to the allegations before the court, the accused are acquitted. Suck it, Rosie.
I used to see on every TV your smiling face look back.
Excuse me? Are you the guy who drafted Ray Rice in the 4th round?
Maybe.
He's a wife beater, you pig.
Oh!
You jerk!
Oh! That footage hadn't even come out before the draft. Mercy. I'll show you. I'll show all of you. I know what I'm doing. I know how to draft a fantasy football team. That's right. The JB's mole will ride again in 2015. I'll show all of you.
You think you know me?
On this day, I see clearly everything has come to life. A better place in a broken dream, and we'll leave it all behind. On this day, it's so real to me. Everything
Welcome everybody to another season of the JB's Mole Invitational. I am Co-Commissioner Michael Korstein, joined by Co-Commissioner Jeremy Bruch. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't need to tell you what we all just experienced with last season's controversy. I have every reason to believe that it is now behind us and we are ready to look onward and upward towards another exciting season. Now, things are going to be a little different this year. Gone are the envelope unveilings of the past. We're now fully digital, and you will see as we unveil picks 12 through 1 tonight what I mean by that. Now, without further ado, the picks, as always, were generated in random order, raw footage to be followed by this live broadcast. And I can now, we kick it over to the 12th pick and see who was the unlucky number 12 for this year. Well, Ryan Sachs, winner of last year's pool. We all know what happened in the semifinals. Maybe some wiretap footage played in there. Nonetheless, Ryan Sachs has his work cut out for him. He won. Now he's going to really be tested at the number 12. Can he turn it around from last place in the draft? That remains to be seen. Now let's go to the 11th pick. We're ready for that. What are your thoughts? I know you're a good friend of Mr. Samuel. Does he know Frank Gore plays for a new team this year?
You know what? I think you can chalk him up. Andre Johnson, Santonio Holmes, Frank Gore. You're gonna be home to daddy soon.
Hines
sure.
Ward, maybe? Is he playing this year?
I think he knows that he's retired, but
Right.
that is still unsure.
All right. Well, we're ready now for the 10th pick, and let's find out who that's going to be. Again, this is another one of your colleagues, or friends, I should say, away from the pool. What are your thoughts on this 10th spot with Mr. Diamond in his 3rd season in the pool?
Always competitive, always making trades, sometimes offering trades other teams aren't a fan of, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's better to make moves than sit still. And I think Diamond will be a serious contender like he always seems to be in all the pools.
You want to introduce the 9th pick?
I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy.
Well, I know Mr. Dubin personally, and I can tell you that aside from being a very good money manager, he's also a good player manager. Now, that's something he's learning more and more of each year. And I have a funny feeling he's going to make a run this year. He's sort of been on the cusp. Bad break last year. He had Adrian Peterson, and of course we all know what happened with him. Hopefully this year he gets an actual first-round pick to work with and to anchor his team. But I think Beeves is going to be a contender. Now let's go to the 8th pick, which I understand is ready. Personal injury lawyer by trade, but fantasy football tradesman in his spare time. We know a little bit about that last year. Of course, our 1 through 4 for a second and a third didn't exactly pan out, thanks to Ray Rice and some elevator ride gone wrong. But Corey Sachs is a sharp individual, and I think he's due for a run one of these years. He hasn't ever put it together.
Wouldn't put it past him.
He is the smarter Sachs, as we know.
That we all know.
And we're ready for the 7th pick now. Let's go find out who that is. Are we happy with that?
No idea.
We don't really know. Things change every year. Our strategy will develop. I know we're thinking defense at this stage early in the first round, but that might change. Anyway, congratulations on a pick that was honestly obtained.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my sad duty to inform you, before we get into picks 6 through 1, the passing of Team Benchlish. Now, many of you came to know the competitors through the pool, that one being Lel Lang and Joe Benchlish, Hallam, Shofar, Seder Plate, Afi Komen, Benchlish. Very nice men. Of course, we know not of their origin, but we mourn their passing nonetheless, and wherever they are buried, Godspeed, gentlemen. We will not forget your contributions to the JB's Bowl.
Yitkada v'yitkada shemei Rabbah.
Now let's find out the 6th pick in this year's draft. Like a bad rash, we can't seem to shake team slogan, huh?
Always on our ass.
I mean, no joke. For those of you that have been in this league or any of the other leagues that we've been in, we are always picking before or after team slogan. Someone is out to get us. At least for this year's second round, that may come to be an advantage, but it remains to be seen. And team slogan, it goes without saying, is always a competitor.
Is their slogan still buy high, sell low? That's usually how they do things.
They're a close second to Team Diamond in the throw a bunch of trade offers people don't like and try to catch somebody with a mental disorder and make a bad trade. But it's worked in the past, okay? So you got to give them credit for that. No restraining orders last year either on John Cogan, which is good, either in or out of the pool in his personal life. So good for you, John. Now we're ready for the number 5 pick. Well, what can I say about my friend Stu Stone? He is a talented, if there was a 10-star entertainer, he would be. He sings, he dances, he acts, he raps, he's able to wheel and deal in a fantasy football league. Now, last year, he went a bit against the grain. He bought some stock in Arian Foster when everybody else thought that there was no tread left on those tires. But now he's refocused. He's located in Toronto, directing a movie aside from this pool. But he's focused. He doesn't have those Hollywood distractions. And I think he's going to be better than ever this year. Now we're on to the 4th pick. We're ready for that.
We're not the mountains. We're handsome, we're brave, we're strong.
I don't know anything about this newcomer. He's from parts unknown as far as I'm concerned.
Well, what I do know about Mr. Talk, he comes from Montreal, so he brings a little of that French flavor. I know that he's a big sports fan and a big poolie, and I think that he's going to be a big-time competitor in this league, and we still are unsure of where Benchlosh's whereabouts are, but it doesn't really matter at this point. It's all about team talk, and we'll see how that Montrealer strategy works in this year.
One thing's for sure, I think Youppi and Tim Raines and maybe even who's another Expos player? Delino to Shields. They're moving up the draft board now, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I was going to go with the Montreal Alouettes.
Right, Tracy Ham. That's who I was going to say. You better move him up on your draft boards.
Anthony Calvillo.
Right. 75 years old, I think. The number 3 pick, I think we're ready for, and who's that going to be? Boy, they had a juggernaut last year in this pool. Andrew Luck, T.Y. Hilton was a couple of years ago, but they had Odell Beckham, I think, they picked up early in the year and ran with him. Very, very solid. They do their homework. Roto World has no influence whatsoever, of course, but the odd couple of dysfunction and stability merged together, and they really got a bit unlucky last year because their team was clearly the best from wire to wire and fell short in the semis. Number 2 pick in the pool is... Talk about a full plate. This guy is running a startup, a very successful company, which takes up just about all of his spare time, but he does manage to fit in this pool. He won 3 years ago.
Yep.
That was no accident. He knows how to compete in pools, but the last couple of years, especially last year, with Rod Marinelli assisting, they were almost winless. So I think there's nothing but bounce back written all over Team Contender for 2015.
Will marriage change things? That's the question. Will he have the time?
Well, he might have the time, and he gets to also eat home-baked flautas during the draft, which is, Senorita Brodsky is to thank for that. And, well, that leaves, by now, no mystery. The number 1 pick in the pool is...
Well, it's the big show.
Now, nothing personal against Rosie. I understood all of his grievances from last year, but this was a man who lost to us fair and square and missed the playoffs because of it. Now, I know he's a savvy competitor, and he's, well, some would say bitter, but no, he's competitive. I'll say competitive. And I know that with this number 1 pick, which he had 12 and then 1 and then now 1 again, right? He was the number 1 pick last year. So maybe the gods are smiling on Rosie. He lost in court, as we may have seen a little bit about it at the top of the broadcast, but now this might be some measure of compensation for the big fella.
Listen, it's been many, many years, and he is due for a win. So he is someone to look out for, because that is never he's never held the trophy in any pool I've been with him. And I'm in multiple leagues with him every year in multiple sports. So first pick overall is a good one to have.
We'll
see what happens.
Will we see Thumpzilla reemerge in Rosie's corner at any point this season?
I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the music means we're out of time. We will see you on September the 8th. I'm Michael Korstein, as always, for Jeremy Baruch.
Mr. Korstein, TMZ, do you have a minute?
Yeah, come on, let's go. I'm walking home now. I gotta get home to my wife.
You were just acquitted, so what do you think of the verdict?
Listen, justice prevailed today. I'm obviously relieved. We didn't do anything wrong. Now, I'm going home to my wife now. Surely she will be happy to see me. I've been in custody for quite some time, so that's all I could say for now. Thank you.
Best of luck to you.
I didn't do anything wrong. I was acquitted. Come on, be reasonable, please. Great. Looks like I'm staying somewhere else tonight. Turns out I wasn't acquitted in her court of law.
Here you go, fella. Hey, isn't that the guy who drafted Ray Rice in the 4th round? Yeah, I've heard of him. What a loser!
He's still young, and he was a comeback candidate last year. I didn't know Justin Forsett was going to play, you little brats.
Okay, we're here live with Co-Commissioner Baruch, and we are
Get on the screen.
Going to draftpicklottery.com to generate the random order, and this is the raw footage as we always supply, just to ensure that the draft pick order is on the up and up. We have 12 names to be entered. Now we will enter in alphabetical order, teams 1 through 12. All names entered. Typo on Windy Hill. We're good to go. So we click submit. The order is generated. And we start with the 12th pick, which will be revealed with one click of the button. Ryan Sachs. Black Jews. Diamond. Beeves. Corey Sachs. JB's Mole. Slogan. Windy Hill. Tuck. Cletus. Contender. And the big load with back-to-back money balls.
Good luck.
Slogan and JB's Mole back-to-back again in every pool. Good luck to everybody. See you in a month.